The following podcast may contain spoilers.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing this week? I don't know. It's been a really long time since we met with you, but I hope you're having a great day. So
I'm sure they are.
Hope you're having a great year, honestly.
yeah, really, 2019. Woo! 2018, honestly, not too bad.
It was a long year.
It was a long year. A lot of I've been used to having. There's been a lot of stinkers recently, and 2018, apart from maybe the chaos of our presidency and political situation, has been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, everything's been chaos, but you know what?
I'm living in a new place. It's real nice. I've got nice fun job. So for me, 2018's been a great time.
Yep.
But now we're in 2019, new year, new possibilities. And this is the Treading the Path of Heaven podcast. I am your host, Jonathan Kinney, joined as always by my co-hosts.
I'm Bill.
I'm Rich.
I'm Seth. I'm a co-host. Whee!
I mean, at this point, I feel like we could stop. That's what I said.
Hey.
I didn't announce you as and one perennial guest anymore.
I like the distinction, I guess. I don't know.
Well, then
No, I get it. I get it.
I mean, it used to be you didn't read and then you read something.
I mean, hey guys, can I part the kimono, as it were? I always read. I never didn't read. I'm not illiterate. You fools!
Well, we were specifically talking about, the books that we cover in this podcast, not just in general.
No, that's true.
No one was accusing you of being unable to read.
I might have been.
Well, I mean, Bill's an asshole, but everyone who's not an asshole was not accusing you.
I that's still mostly true. There are a couple that I continued to read, and I am kind of behind on the last one that I was reading.
And that was?
The tutorial is too hard, but it seems like it's weird now. What happened to the tutorial is too hard?
You caught up to it?
No. No, I didn't catch up to it. I read the first one that was on a different website, and I was like, huh.
Wait, what?
Yeah, some stuff happened.
No, I'm what?
I mean, there's MTL stuff I haven't read, but
no, 176 was the last one, right?
The last one that was released on Light Bastion.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Light Novel Bastion is not the one that carries it anymore.
I didn't know.
Well, that's
that.
what I'm saying. I think they still are translating it. They're just doing it slowly. The people that have picked it up are doing slightly more than machine translation, as I understand it, from the translator's own words. Which is why I personally am not reading it, because I really appreciate the quality of the tutorials too.
I didn't know. I was waiting on Light Novel Bastion because it was just always been what I've read. Yeah. I didn't know
they have released chapters since the other group has started doing.
Yeah. I recently read a chapter like a week ago.
Yeah. No, that was.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'm just behind of my own volition.
How far is the other stuff?
They were putting out a couple chapters at a time. Like they were putting it out. So I don't know. I might break down and read it at some point.
That's why I like good translators. They always put out.
Oh man. Translator jokes.
Oh man,
it's great
only
podcast, guys.
That was good.
So this week we're doing something a little bit different to reflect the fact that we're moving into a new year. We, instead of reviewing like a particular book, we thought we'd do kind of a status update. Talk about the books we liked reading in 2018, what we're excited to continue or start reading in 2019.
Ooh, can we post this as Treading the Path of Heaven ransom note? And this is just us trying to convince ourselves to come back and do more of the podcast.
I don't know.
I mean, I could title it breakthroughs because we're back at it again now.
Yeah, this seems like a breakthrough would be terrible on this.
We're breaking through here. We're not just one. We're back on our stuff again, man. It feels good. I feel good.
Well, hey, if we keep recording at this schedule, as long as Bill's cool with it, we can actually get some more content out. So
for real,
sure.
It's up to you though, Bill, because I understand that you're the one that has to wake up in the middle of the night.
This is, it's not exactly convenient for most of us, but it's doable.
Whatever. We talked about all that last time we communicated, so no need to go over that again. It's only been since the last time you listened, for anyone who's just now discovered us. Welcome, by the way. But yeah, like I said, this is going to be a normal episode. We also are going to talk about just some sort of current events that are happening in the novel world and surrounding the novel world. There's been multiple anime releases of light novels that we've covered and that have been released on either Wuxia World or similar sites. So yeah, we just wanted to have a chance to kind of talk about everything.
Slime show.
Yeah, no, I mean that's for me. I mean, like, not a terrible place to start is we've been pretty avidly watching that time I reincarnated as a slime.
Tensei Shitara Slime Dada Ken.
Yeah.
Slime Dada Ken.
And yeah, no, that was a book that I started reading more seriously as we right before and shortly after we did a episode about it. And then the anime came out shortly after, and oof, man. What an incredible adaptation. Like, they had put in the work on that series to make it right. Just like the animation of the slime bouncing.
Yeah, like when I saw the bouncing,
little touches,
I was like, man, they really did it. And this anime is turning out better than I predicted it was going to turn out in the episode we did on it, man.
Yeah, and you did 100% call that. You were like, within the next 2-3 seasons, it's going to be an anime.
I mean, like, it's a 1-for-1 of the manga, but like prettier, and
yeah,
like, that's huge.
It's one of those things where they really brought the manga to life. It wasn't just like, and brought the book to life, honestly.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
it's not. Sorry,
what I mean is, like, there's differences between the light novel and the manga, and thus the light novel and the anime. Mm-hmm. It is literally 1-for-1.
Oh yeah,
to the manga itself. So like it's there. Like there's the distinction. Like they all have the same character models. It's not like this is a gussied up version of it or anything like that. No, they picked it up, they made it pretty, and they were like, here you go.
Yeah, it's really the small touches, like the information screens.
Yeah, the Great Sage moments
from his Great Sage and everything. Like,
oh man, those are like lovingly done.
Such intentional graphics.
See, I didn't read the manga. Like, the only art I've seen were like the covers of the web novel, mm-hmm. or the covers of the light novel when it was coming out. Because I read the web novel way. I read like partial machine translations of this thing. Like, I was committed to it when I was reading it. So to see it done as lovingly as it's being done, and the voice acting being on point, and like just like letting the story shine. I'm seeing fan art on Twitter from like I'm not gonna say normies, but from people who don't read stuff I read, mm-hmm. and people who aren't making fan art for something I've been reading years ago. Like, I'm giddy because I'm like, mm-hmm. wow, this is what it's like when
other people like your hobby.
Yeah, dude. Like, I remember like trying to get people to read. It was such a hard sell. Hey, man, it's a slime, but like, hear me out.
He's not a bad slime.
It's a story about a dude who's a slime who builds a kingdom. Hear me out. Don't just ignore me. Read it. And it was like pulling teeth. But it's amazing how something being animated can get anybody into it.
Yeah, well, and what an amazing job they've done. In a similar vein, just recently coming out with the first episode is Rising of the Shield Hero.
Tate no Yusha.
Yes!
Another novel Richard predicted the anime for successfully.
How many of those called shots do we have now?
It's been like 3 or 4.
At least 3.
King's Avatar, the 2 we were just talking about. I don't think Kumo Desuka's happened yet, but I feel like it's in the works.
No, it's being made as we speak. I already have the trailer.
Well, there you go. So yeah, 4 for 4. We just haven't gotten to the other ones yet. There might have been another call, but I remember at least those 4 being right. So props. But yeah, Rising of the Shield Hero it's only been the first episode so far, but it was kind of a double packed 40-minute episode to start. Really seems to be capturing that shittiness of this world and how unfair it is to the Shield Hero.
I actually avoided watching that first episode mainly because like I got told by Donna and you guys that they show him happy. And that is something I'm scared of seeing because I remember reading.
Oh, don't worry. It's
instantly for like crushed. A second, man.
Oh, no, I know. But like, I can't see him happy because I know what's gonna happen to him.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's fair. But like,
No, Richard.
you're happy before your innocence gets crushed.
That moment where you see him go out alone to fight balloons, and then he comes back and he fights that shopkeeper because he's like, "You will give me normal prices, or you will fight these balloons."
No, they showed that part.
They show it happening. It is gorgeous,
Dude, he just like holds his arm up and he's like, "So these instead."
The episode hard stops at him seeing the Rafaela. I can never remember her name. Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, that got me pumped.
Wow. So it's right before that part. Like,
Yes, he is meeting her.
All right, well,
That's sick. Is he still? Did they show him being like illiterate and stuff, or?
They show him like learning and cobbling along.
Gotcha.
yeah, he's definitely not the person that seems to be from a goddamn intellectual elite high school college prep.
No, he's just a dude.
Yeah, he's just a
he was a
dude.
lazy bro. Whenever his brother was born, he was like, "Oh man, I don't have to do shit."
Yeah, he'll hold
he's-
it down.
It feels like he's a normal person in the kaiju universe,
Yeah.
not a person that would be in the story from either side. Just like a normie.
He wouldn't have gone to the massive debt.
Oh, my heart. I'm gonna go watch that after this episode and just let my heart just
Oh,
feel
dude,
it.
you
It's
should
gonna be
definitely go watch
great.
it. It's worth doing.
It has some beautiful moments, like when you see his shield change. Oh man,
Wow, dude.
Yeah, no, it seems like it's going to be a fun ride. I'm excited to see how they handle it. I can't say that it's going to be as good as Slime Show yet because it's only got one episode, but it's been pretty fun so far.
I mean, if these do well, we're gonna get more of our stuff that we've read animated. I just hope Korean stuff starts getting animated. I've been waiting for manhwas.
Yeah,
and
if I could
Korean
see,
novels to
if I
start
could
getting
see
animated.
Legendary Moonlight Sculptor and or Overgeared as an anime.
Defense.
Dungeon Defense. Fuck
Oh God, who would even do that though? Like you'd have
Madhouse.
I mean, it would have to
Madhouse.
be Madhouse.
Like if they touch
Gonzo.
on it,
No, fuck no,
no,
please,
not
no,
Gonzo,
stop,
please.
no, don't even put that into the ether.
maybe Shaft.
It's already halfway
Maybe
done.
Shaft.
No, it's already halfway done with Gonzo.
Please,
You're gonna get 3 really pretty episodes at the front.
No.
I mean,
it's gonna
Hinamaru
be-
Sumo's been fine, so maybe not. Well, but all right, this is not the anime podcast, and I don't think we have any more light novel related animes to discuss.
I mean, we could find more, but
We could create
That
more.
came out in 2018.
shit.
You know what I'm scared of? Ari Ferretta's gonna get an anime, and people are gonna fucking love it, and I'm gonna be big upset.
Yeah, but they're gonna fucking cuck it. Like
It's already
it's not gonna be real Ari Ferretta, which is probably good, but
or maybe just one season, and the first season
they'll just do the
awesome.
first volume,
Just awesome.
and then they'll be like, "That's the end of the story. There is no more Ari Ferretta."
Yeah, then they all died in a fire happily.
I call it the Black Bullet response.
But no, you know what would really happen is they just start after the first season and do it in media res and try to explain what happened in the first season only through flashbacks.
So eventually you could piece together the entire first season through all the flashbacks.
Yeah, but you have to go through the rest of Ari Ferretta to do it.
To which the question is, was it worth it?
It wasn't.
I'm sorry, Ari Ferretta fans. I don't like it.
hey, Ari Ferretta fans, your book sucks.
Hey, Ari Ferretta fans, we gave all of our legitimate opinions about that in the Ari Ferretta episode. Go listen to that if you actually don't, if you're an Ari Ferretta fan.
Yeah, no, you'll be
But listen to
offended.
one of our other episodes and maybe imagine that we're talking about a book that you like instead.
Yeah,
Or,
or like a book that's good. Not
I mean,
hard to do.
it is one of the few that we were treading the path of hell. We read this so you don't have
It's
to.
pretty much been like that in Road to Kingdom.
I'm so embarrassed that that's another thing I want to talk about. I kept reading that I kept reading it. I overcommitted.
Sensual meat hooks in you.
It's not even that. It's legit. It might be the best comedy thing I've read in a long. I'm on the bus and I'm like, I guess I'll read. I'm out of stuff to read. Everything I've done is updated, I guess I'll read a chapter on this. And it consistently has 2 chapter updates like every few days.
Oh,
and,
why?
Like, it's taken care of with love. Translated well. I'm like, let me read this.
So what I'm hearing is at the end of the series, somebody's going to come out from behind the stage and go, "The aristocrats."
He fucked the plant. He has 500 mermaid children.
Is that an anthropomorphized
Yeah,
plant?
no,
or
I
just a
need more
plant?
information. Is it like a house plant that he was just like, all right, I'm done fucking everything
Okay.
else?
Just a
Ooh,
shrub.
the sensuous curves
Okay.
of that leaf.
So you know what a lamia is, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so there's lamia. There's humans.
Sure.
They have reverse lamias. Humans with snake heads,
Yeah.
and they have a lamia who's got a snake body but a female, top. Right?
Yeah.
He sees her. He's like, he goes out to go save this girl who's been kidnapped because they asked him because he's visiting and stuff. He goes out. He sees the lamia, and the lamia's sad because she can't eat the girl. Like she wants to be like, she lives alone because she's not like the other lamias. And they're running from deep inside the forest because there's something in there that's forcing people into getting murdered, like getting consumed by this plant who like lures people in there, shoots off pheromones. They get hypnotized. It goes up to them and then they consume them like a plant. Except they use like sexual energy to pull it in, and
This sounds
the,
like
the humanized version of the Venus flytrap.
yes, yeah.
This sounds
And-
like the plot to a comic that I read. That there are going to definitely be at least one person who's like, "Oh yeah, no, that one." Enjoy figuring that out.
And he did it, and he pretty much fucked a sex plant to death. And then they gathered its seeds and planted it in like the courtyard of his new mansion.
To add it to his harem.
And then he added it to his harem, and it's right by. He added the lamia to his harem and built a spot.
How
for the
many
lamia
children
in
are
the-
you going to raise to fuck
I
main
think
character
he
of Road to
has
Kingdom?
like 220.
That
And then
seems to be his
they have,
main
like,
goal.
Right now, an elf has showed up, and he like sexually harassed the elf, and then it's like, I'm gonna come and help you deal with the orcs because he wants to fuck all the elf warriors. It's
this-
hilarious, dude.
He's this one life of Meng Hao that was just like, nah, I'm about fucking.
He got so many kids.
That was one of the best lives among how though. So
He fucks whole families. He got like mind fucked into like. There was this chick he wanted to have sex with, right?
Uh huh.
And he saved her from being raped and brought him there and gave him a restaurant and they're taking
Did
care
he?
of it. Yes, yes, he did. He did.
He saved him
And
from
she-
being raped
and
by a
she-
third party, not
poorly.
him.
And she would not have sex with him unless she also had sex with her sister Sharon. So Sharon's a dude, and he dude's like, I'm not gonna fuck a dude. They
But he did.
They found a way to get
Yeah,
him to fuck the
but he
dude.
did.
Yeah, he fucked the dude.
So okay, so what you're getting at is this book still sucks, and you kept reading it, and that's your fault and no one else's.
Oh, yeah.
And we're done with
But
talking
it's-
about
it's
this
a-
book, right?
It's hilarious though, like legit, like it's legit funny. Like it's fart jokes, and his horse has a harem of not horses, of women. His horse Schwartz be trying to smash the chick he's trying to smash. And he's like, no, this is my
No,
woman, Schwartz.
Richard, I think my emotions right now could be perfectly described as I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Yeah, this is my bad. I'm like, it keeps getting more ridiculous, and I can't. But then it goes, okay, we're gonna stop being a sex thing, the funny sex thing. Let's go to real like politics and warfare, and then that's also awesome. Like the siege of the Federation by the Empire is like super dope, and they're fighting in the Federation. Like the Federation is like not Russia, whatever. Basically, it's both a comedy thing with really gross sex shit that you just ignore,
So you're saying
and like awesome politics stuff.
so you're saying it's an anime that will never get made, just like
Oh, it's probably gonna get made.
it's but like you're it sounds like the
No,
tits are as integral as well, I'm sorry, the repeated rape and incest is as integral as the tits are in High School DxD. So like
But it isn't.
No, because in High School DxD, they're actual plot points. They're the source of his power. This is just what he wants to do, I think.
Dude, this is what he wants to do with the stuff he accomplishes. Like he's like, I'm gonna get a kingdom so I can have sex with all the women in my kingdom.
so so we're just gonna have to wait for
Super down.
perverts to get like way more accepted.
pounded.
Like, imagine if your president was to like knock on the door of every single person who lives in this country and go, "I'm here to fuck your wife."
Nah, dude,
Prima
that's what
nocte.
prima nocte is. Yeah, that's what that fucking is.
Yeah, that is that.
That was a thing. You walked around and were like, "Hi, I'm the king. Happy marriage. I'm gonna fuck your wife." that's how that works.
I get that first night, bitches.
Yeah, that's mine.
I enjoy the virgins of this country.
and then they're ruined forever.
Yeah, for their husbands.
He's doing the service, you know.
No, it's cool. He gives gold out now when he fucks somebody's wife. He gives them gold.
Oh, well, that's kind
That's
of him.
a plus.
Wait,
Damn.
does he have like a secretary that does
'Cause-
just that?
Yes,
Of course
but
he
he
does.
also runs all their stuff too, and he's just like, man, our leader's an idiot. Like he's getting roasted by all of the people who's keeping his kingdom running. But it's cool. He's like,
He's real good
battle
at killing
demon.
people.
Why am I talking about this? God, it's not good.
Because you kept reading it in 2018.
I'm so ashamed.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't been doing too much reading as the end of 2018 goes on. In terms of books that we haven't covered, I think it's pretty much just been A Will Eternal and Overgeared. Unless we've talked about A Will Eternal.
I don't think we were going to talk about Will Eternal, but I don't think we did a full episode. I don't think we did. We do it.
I don't think so.
We wanted to leave it on another, like, leave a death blade in the chamber, I think.
I think that's correct. But yeah, no, we definitely excited about that. Apparently, that's going to be wrapping up around March.
Ooh.
And it's been a great ride. It's definitely an Argan novel that's not about Meng Hao.
But
That fucking dirty Hey Da Wu, man. For anyone who's not in the know, that is Bai Zhaochun's name, the main character, but with each of the meanings of the characters in his name reversed, so that it means like dirty, black, impure instead of white, little, and pure.
Oh my god.
And the best part of that to me is that the person who posts on the Reddit the chapter updates, that's his name, is Hey Da Wu.
What a great.
And I'm like, I
That's
don't
a
know how
good
that
word,
happened,
man.
but I love it.
You are great, guy. I hope he made that just for that. Like,
Me too. But yeah, no, those have been a great ride. Overgeared's an incredible ride. It's we haven't talked about it a lot, and we definitely will because it's a book I want to talk about. But it's a Korean novel. It's very much like a legendary Moonlight Sculptor kind of book. With kind of a different focus. It would be the legendary Moonlight Blacksmith instead of the legendary Moonlight Sculptor. But it's a great story. It's constantly filled with. It's one of those stories where the plot keeps like going places you don't expect. Like it sets up really obvious plot progression and then goes over and above what you expect it to do, which is nice. It's a very fun read thus far, and it's had a lot of character growth in its actual characters. But that's a topic for another day.
I'm halfway through Stellar Transformations.
Ooh.
So when I finish that, I'd like to do a Stellar Transformations episode about it. That's kind of the main reason why we haven't done that one yet, because I was still reading it.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm always down. Although you'll have to be doing most of the remembering. I'll have to skim that.
One of
It's
the
been a
choke
while.
points for this podcast, folks, is books take time to read.
Boy, do they. Oh,
Man, time's become a commodity.
jeez. It was so easy on the mountain.
Right
It
when
sure
we had
was.
when we got home at 4 and there was nothing to do outside of our house.
There was also 2 hours of commute every day minimum. Like,
I got so much reading done.
yeah, man,
Yeah.
bus reading.
Bus reading.
Oh,
Good old Wi-Fi on buses. Man, guys, if you got the money, go visit Aspen. It's a magical valley.
Just that whole area. You know what? If you don't like skiing, you don't have to go past Basalt. No, please do go down there and like
or
look
go
at stuff.
straight
Go to the Maroon
to
Bells.
Aspen.
Just go there go ride up the things. It's worth your time. It's that pretty.
If you're there on a budget, I can tell you how to live with no money there. I can teach you.
I can tell you how to live paying $3,600 a month for a fucking $1 billion house and still manage to work that out.
Nice house, you guys.
It was an
There
incredibly
were
nice
like
house.
3 huge rooms in that house that remained unoccupied while we were there.
We could have had more roommates to make that place cheaper.
Yeah, but we didn't.
Yeah,
Like,
but
what?
like-
We weren't gonna fuck with
I
our
didn't trust
landlord.
any of the
Yeah.
people I worked with to maintain a house.
You're 100% correct. Yeah. No.
That place was too big, but really, really nice.
It was so nice, dude.
It was a hot tub we used once.
That's because it was super cold.
I used it
all the time.
all the time, and then like they shut it down, and I was so sad.
I didn't even know you used it all the time.
I used it all the time.
I mean, it was
like,
right outside his door.
Well, I mean, it was right
my
outside
door.
your door, so yeah.
Because I'd be like, man, this
I just
thing
didn't know you used
sucked. Yeah, dude.
Man, that hot tub in the past could have been used more effectively. Darn it!
That's the feeling I've had on every hot tub I've ever had access to. And that is not an insignificant amount of hot tubs. I think I've lived at places with them 6-7 times.
But there's what about the hot spring that we went to? In what's that place called?
Glenwood.
Yeah, no, the one down the road here in Oregon.
Speaking of things I've had access to,
What?
why can't I find like Book Eating Magician such on or like Praise the Orc on Usha
All
World?
the Korean stuff got taken down.
Yeah. If you're unaware, which to be fair, you probably are if you're in this subculture. But Wuxia World, kind of one of the last remaining bastions of like the free versions of what we're trying to get going on here, has been, dealing with legal issues, not completely unsuccessfully, but definitely having to fight the entire way through, tooth and nail. Both with Munpia, the Koreans' right holders to most of the novels that were put up on Wuxia World, and obviously still continuing with Qidian, although that less so, I think, as we move towards the end of 2018. Not to say they're not still making sneaky moves and making their own platform worse while trying to steal novels from everywhere.
Yeah, until Qidian gets worse, I can't really say anything because I do read on there,
I did until they took all the novels I cared about and put them behind Spirit Stone walls and made
those-
Spirit Stones
those
impossible to
those
get.
Spirit Stones, though.
The Spirit Stone walls are they're thick, man. They're thick. Like I read one, I can keep up with one novel consistently and have enough in case there's like a burst of chapters. Like I remember I had built up like 400 Spirit Stones reading King's Avatar, and then like I got a wonderful burst of like 14 chapters in one day, and I'm like, oh, let's get it. And then I was just out because the Spirit Stones were on the premium books are based on how many words are in the chapter, how long the chapter is. So like some of those were like 15, some of them were like 11, 12 for cheap ones.
So you're literally paying by the word?
Pretty much.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
I mean, by the sets of words, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's rough, the Qidian model. It's like, I'm really happy the Wuxia World's still out there, because if they weren't, I can only imagine how much worse Qidian would be.
I mean, like, if for any company that's thinking about it, like, if y'all offer me a subscription program for me to instantly get consistent translated novels, and I ain't got to deal with this mess, I'll pay a monthly fee for anime. I'll pay a monthly fee for my novel translation.
Yeah,
I
man,
really would.
I don't
Absolutely.
even watch Crunchyroll on my own account, and I still pay for Crunchyroll because, like, I mean, I'm happy to help pay into the culture, but like, if you make it that hard monetized, it's very unappetizing to try and get people to read your shit.
I read hundreds of chapters of True Martial World, and I just legitimately think I will probably never finish that series or God of Cooking, which really makes me sad because that novel was like crazy silly. There was absolute choice, but I'm pretty sure the author gave up on that book anyway.
I feel like that's another thing that bothers me. Okay, all right, web novel folks. There's another thing that bothers me. If I commit that much to your freaking book, can you finish it? Can you have the common decency to finish your freaking book, please? So I can get that part of my life back. Because like, there's so many dead end novels on my phone that either A, forever untranslated, or B, the original writer gave up part through. I don't know, man.
I'm F5ing a death mage who doesn't want a fourth time, like, way too hard. I just want more chapters.
It's so good, right? Like, I'm glad you appreciate it, because I cannot fathom enough in the episode we did on it.
I actually spent a lot of my 2018 reading books we've recommended.
No, man, that's how you know this is effective. It's like the hair club for men. I'm not just the president; I'm also a member.
Sorry, but yeah, no, the death mage.
Yeah, please, people, like, I know a lot of people out there that, like, some of you that listen to us probably don't read Japanese stuff. Like, I understand why. Some of it just isn't great. Like, I can look at like the upvotes of most JP novels on novel translations, a lot of them aren't especially high compared to things like even like some English novels are beating those on the upvotes and the.
Well, hey, maybe if they didn't have titles like, "Is it okay to pick up girls in my smartphone in my dungeon with the farm and my stuff in the like, calm down, Japan.
In another world, bro. Come on.
Sorry, I didn't throw isekai in the title. My B.
Yeah,
That's
it's got to be
one we
right
could
in the
talk
title.
about that I actually brought up about bringing up on our show, and we didn't do an episode on it because it would have just been me talking. Oh, in another world with my smartphone that has an anime now. It came out last season.
Sure does.
That really was just like it was one of those. I don't know why it exists, and I don't know why I read it. like I didn't know why I read this. Like.
I got the first couple of episodes of the anime under my belt, and I was like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah,
I got this.
There's really no point.
I think that's the issue with Japanese novel a lot of times is that it's obvious on their face that there's not going to be any depth to them. And then every so often you fucking read Tensei Shitara Slimed Out of Canon and you're like, oh, right,
This
there
is what
are
this
good
feels
Japanese authors.
Or like what's the Overlord one? How not to summon an Overlord in a world? Yeah, that was a great one. That's
That
wonderful
was so bad.
light novel turned anime.
I wanted it to be good. I wanted that series to be good. It was going to be my guilty pleasure. And then we hit the episode where, I'm not even going to go into it, but we hit an episode where I was like, nope, I'm out. This is too overtly sexual now.
I know what you're talking about, actually. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
I was just like, no, I'm out. I was okay with this until you brought in the girl with the appearance and mind capability of a 6-year-old and then made the sex thing about her too. I get that she's 3,000 years old in your goddamn continuum, but she doesn't fucking look like it.
It's not.
And when she acts like,
why they do that.
oh my God, cookies are delicious. I'll be your friend now. You can't drag her into the sex.
It's one thing to have like the lolly body, right? It's one thing to have that. It's another thing for them to also, and you can try to excuse it away with, oh, she's a 5,000-year-old vampire.
If 5,000 like years, those years were stuck.
If her mental capacity hasn't moved past that age, we got a problem, and you need to go talk to my man Chris Hansen.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Like, if 500 of your 500 years of existence were spent in an egg, you're still a fucking child.
For real.
Like, you can't come out and be like, I don't know anything, but I'm 600 years old, so I'm totally a viable sexual target. Like, no, that's you, author, and you've got issues, and you should talk to a therapist.
What's up with that being like a common theme with a lot of things? Like, it's always like, this girl, and I'm the first man in her life, so she needs me.
I don't know. I think Japan is really just really, really concerned about its birth rate, so it's just letting them do anything to get people sexual.
Whatever makes a baby, man. Come on.
No, Daryl Surratt from Anime World Order said it best. Japan went crazy the second they outlawed the ability to see the pink.
Wow, that's godlike. Yo, man. Free JAVs, man. Uncensored JAVs for the people.
Save Japan.
They need to understand what it looks like.
Uncensored.
Uncensored. Oh my God.
So yeah, there's definitely is there anything new on the horizon that you've been looking to start picking up that you're thinking about maybe you're reading and gonna read in 2019?
I'm gonna try to read some of the, I mean, this is gonna sound weird. I'm gonna try to read some of the English Shisha novels because there's a lot of them coming out lately, and I want to know what like what can I talk about can I bring up why
absolutely.
I'm interested in that?
Sure.
Okay, so you know how you've been working on your novel?
Yeah, I've been just as a general introduction, it's loosely based on the concept of like Star Trek and the Prime Directive. But the idea being that the Prime Directive is that you don't make contact until someone has broken through in cultivation. So it's based on Earth shortly in the future, where through science we have someone physically break through to the first level of cultivation, and we're greeted by a group of cultivators who say, "Hey, you're now eligible to join the Galactic Cultivation of Federation of Cultivators," and it's going to move forward from there. I've written a few chapters. I've got all sorts of fun backstory, but that's a basic idea. Continue.
But because you've been working on yours, it makes me more curious about like as a writer myself, and I've never gone out my way to read another English, like another Western-inspired novel in the cultivation genre, right? Like, I would like to see how other people take their background and our popular culture knowledge and our things and fuse it with this cultivation concept.
Yeah.
And I want to see how other people execute it, because I see how I see how the cogs in your mind are turning in your project, and I'm curious how other people are doing it, especially for the ones that are a bit more popular in the community as a whole, right?
Yeah. No, I absolutely understand. I think traditionally there's been a feeling, and it may very well still may be the case. I'm not really rooting on one way or the other, but I think with the popularization of this kind of novel and the more frequent access to English readers, because a lot of the complaints about English style genre novels have been like they're missing those kind of Taoist undertones. This idea of like, 1 becoming 9, becoming 10, becoming 1 again. Like these ideas of like this growth of the infinite becoming nothing. Like there's those concepts don't really exist in English literature so much, and their ideas of good and evil are so different to the commonly accepted tropes in Western writing that it's been hard for that to translate for us to do it. But I think now that we've had so much more genre literature available to us through the recent translations and all that sort of stuff, and we've gotten so much, like people like Deathblade have been giving us introductions to Chinese culture and the reasons behind all these things, that like, the cultural significance behind the apothecaries and the auctions, and why this matters, the explanations of the Taoist diagrams. Like all of this information is part of the reason why we weren't able to accurately connect to that writing style. And I think that now we've had more introduction to those motifs and those concepts, that it's becoming a lot easier for us to write in a style that fits those worlds.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like just scrolling through the novel translation subreddit, that the English books that have been going are like pretty like voluminous. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them,
Yeah,
and they're pretty popular. They're like they're equivalent to like, like the mid. I'm gonna use tiers here. The mid tier Chinese novels and popularity, they seem to be equivalent to those, and I think that's super good. Like,
I do kind of want to read this one that's called "The Only Thing I Can Upgrade Is Strength."
I'm actually I was actually going to try and tackle the Legends of Ogre's Gate, the novel that Deathblade wrote after being inspired by his wuxia themed D&D campaign.
Okay, I want to check that out too. Wow, I didn't know about that.
See, I it's probably bad taste, but scrolling through the novel translations subreddit, I read the first chapter of a lot of books that have funny names, because there are a lot of funny names, and
I see one right now. My mom's become sun cons.
Yeah, my mom's
mom's
become sun cons.
Should I read this?
No.
Didn't you read the title? Wasn't that enough?
That was pretty much it.
Stuff like this.
No. Dig deeper.
Stuff like this makes me want to go, what the hell? I should read. Or like, there's another one. There's a Chinese romance novel that makes me go, man, maybe I should check that out just because the title is crazy. It's like, what is that? Something, get a free son, pick up a son, get a free husband. Yeah. Like, what the? And I'm like, what?
In case you're out shopping.
Guys, are we just running out of names? Have we named too many things?
No. I'm pretty sure we've forgotten enough names.
Are all the short names taken? Is this why we're having these names now?
No, man. Like, I'm pretty sure there's not a story named Whole Paragraph.
Yeah, just because
they'd have a whole paragraph for a title.
Yeah. No, I've seen some Japanese shows that do.
I'm telling you, man. Just like, God, the other one that was like, I reincarnated for nothing. It's just like a petulant title like that. Where
Hey, you know what I bet? I bet you his reincarnation was significant, and he learns to overcome that feeling.
Yeah, probably.
I haven't read it, but I've got a good guess.
Nah, man, it's just the same.
The entire time he's just sad.
Yeah, the whole time he's just
actually.
like, there was no reason for this. As he's like saving millions of lives.
Okay, bear with me here, guys. I got it. I got it.
Barb.
This is the full title, okay? Full marks, hidden marriage, pick up a son, get a free husband.
That's pretty good.
It is above King's Avatar in the power rankings. 2,165 chapters completed. 242.2 million views.
Oh, I got one. The simple job of only perishing to the hero is a very good title for. So you just exist simply to die at the hero's blade.
So this is the book of a mid-boss? Because I would maybe read the book about a mid-boss.
Yeah, I'm
Ever since Disgaea.
well. Okay, so this train stopped being fun when I scrolled past When Angels Come. All right, we're done.
Yo, what type of When Angels Come?
You know, I'm going to leave that up in the air. I think that's more entertaining if we don't solve that mystery.
Don't leave the angels come up in the air.
Where else would it be?
Gross.
All right, back on the
It
train.
has
This
wings.
MC is kick-ass. Is the name of this book.
Like, we just gave up, guys.
Nah,
That's
man.
such a lazy fucking title. It's probably a great book, though. Who knows?
Well, here's one. Trash and Accounts Family, and it's pretty popular. Is that good?
Supernatural monetary system.
That's on Usha World, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Like,
that's,
is it good?
I know it was recommended by. It was like the banner for a lot of novels for a bit. Somebody, I don't remember who was translating that. There was something significant about that novel.
Oh, look
But
at
apparently
this.
it is good.
The MC of this series reminds me of Yo Asakura from Shaman King. Wouldn't have a peaceful. Yo, I don't
I
even
might
care.
I might read that.
actually read that. Actually,
Shaman.
You know, I kept reading Shaman King up to like the 28th or 29th volume or some shit. And then like I caught up to the series and then never finished it.
I'm so sorry,
you
buddy.
should. I finished
know
it.
I should. It was getting really interesting.
The ending is like wild and makes almost zero sense.
It was already running into Zero Sense realm, so.
I mean, it didn't get full on like air gear crazy.
No,
I mean,
but
the last panel wasn't a person transformed into a Street Fighter character fighting Dalsim because he ate bread that was delicious. So, I mean, like, thank you, Yakitate Japan. Everyone should read Yakitate Japan. You'll learn so much about
That's the
bacon.
best one.
You'll also laugh a lot.
Seth got another one.
I think I might have the best one of the night. The Demon King always thinks I'm secretly in love with him. Always. Every time I walk past the Demon King, he's like, oh, I see what's going on here. You have a secret love for me.
So wait, it's Kaguya Love is War, but like
Except the
Demon
ass was
King.
fatter.
I don't know, man. That ass is pretty
That ass is
bad.
in high school. It ain't that fat.
Hey, all right.
It's also on a Japanese schoolgirl.
But yo, that Japanese. I mean, like that would be even more impressive.
I'm not. Not. It's not an unattractive ass. I'm just saying it's like in that particular quality, it does not like go crazy.
Yeah,
just doesn't.
It's
it doesn't
not an
break the
inferior
threshold.
thing. It's just different.
it's just different.
Okay, last one. I'll stop scrolling through this fucking Reddit app now, but I was just an only child boy. Now I become one of 4 quadruplet sisters. Chapters 1 through 47. Thanks.
So they just like. I assume that's also an isekai novel for some reason.
I don't know,
It
man.
might not be, but I just assume it is, and that's how he became part of a quadruplet of sisters. And then I'm like, in that case, I'm like, what? So now we're just using it as like, okay, I just want to do my normal manga premises, but instead of actually writing why this has happened, I'm just going to blame it on isekai.
Yeah, he's in another world, and there's this other thing, this other condition.
Well, yeah, this is why we don't have to write somebody who lives in a different world. This is because like that's hard.
Yeah, man.
Whatever. I mean, Tensei Shitara Slime Ken got an anime out of this, so like, I
Look,
guess it was worth my losses.
He applied his real world job to like dealing with building a town.
It's so funny when it's like, I was a Japanese salaryman, I could do anything, and I always believe that premise. I respect Japanese salarymen so much. I had a friend that was stationed in Okinawa in the Navy.
Who was it, John?
It was John.
Yeah.
His description of the Japanese people was they will work their fingers to the bone, work their bone to the powder, and then try to sell you the powder. Which has always stuck with me because what a hardcore representation of any type of people. Japanese people, you work real hard, and that's coming from Americans who, despite our lazy appearance, work way too many hours and never take vacations.
Speaking of salarymen and working way too hard, Tonegawa's been great. I don't know if there's been a manga or light novel of that, but I just want people to know about.
I mean, I'm not sure that you could put the announcer anywhere in the novel or light or the novel or light manga. I was about to say, but he's
Can
like
anything with kaiju characters in it truly be described as light? And the answer is yes. Only Tonegawa.
Yeah, exactly. But the announcer's a solid third of that show. I'm not sure how much content you'd have if you took him out.
Well, to be fair, that's true of every show that author makes.
Yeah.
It would just be a narration flux.
I mean,
like,
to be fair, like one of my favorite arcs of anime is like 90% announcer narrator. So like I can't even give
Good old
anything
Hunter
shit.
Hunter.
I mean that one doesn't count. That one takes place over fucking 5 minutes. Like they can't,
And
That's
like
an
months
entire-
and months and months of the manga.
you can't. They made like 2 seasons of show out of 5 minutes or whatever. It's ridiculous what happened with that. So like,
Yeah, and the amount of things that happened in those 5 minutes.
yeah.
But but it's still like mostly narrator.
It was like if you took the shootout scene from Hot Fuzz and then had a narrator explicitly describe both sides of every single thing that was happening, which is a movie I would watch in a heartbeat, by the way.
Just a person sitting there just describing the scene.
Yeah, no, like Chris Angel takes
Chris Angel.
whatever the fuck his name is, I don't remember. The fucking Sean's character just fucking firing the gun, going through the air. And just like it pauses as he's firing each shot, and it just like keeps going backwards in time, being like explaining the whole movie, but in flashbacks through the shootout scene. Like I actually kind of want to recut Hot Fuzz that way. And just have like an old like British narrator, like
No, it's Willem Dafoe. There was a firefight.
I'd be okay with that too. But I'd really love like just like I don't know, man. There'd be so much potential there.
Speaking of businessmen, there is one novel I wanted to talk. Did we ever cover Dimensional Sovereign?
No,
I don't think so.
Okay, so actually, I have tons of ammo to talk about, but this is a novel that was translated by. I'm pretty sure it was Rainbow Turtle before they moved over to the Wuxia world, and it's really really fun, and it's like it's one of those. His magic is that of management.
Hey man, I took a management course as my capstone in college, and let me tell you, that shit is magical because it's all made up.
Yeah, that is basically one of his powers is just like management and money is power in the other world. And he's using his conquering in the other world to purchase real estate, invest in businesses, make moves here. Hostile takeovers here affect you in the other world where both our universe, our existence, and where the gods play. And you have to utilize your business acumen as weapons. What? Yeah, Dimensional Sovereign, man.
So it's basically like the Dow debates in Desolate Era, but about management skills.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty great. I'm into that.
Tonegawa Disoa. Oh,
Woody.
Speaking of gods,
Like half the things he chooses to do blow up in his face immediately and very badly.
Yeah, but not in a way that has ended his career just yet. So whatever.
Evitani was out.
Evitani out.
Yeah, you got a pay cut for that.
No, but speaking of gods rolling the die, did Goblin Slayer have a light novel?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
it had a novel.
Yeah,
so guys, Goblin Slayer?
Yeah.
I mean, I read it. We can do an episode on Goblin
We
Slayer.
should do an episode on Goblin Slayer because that anime was hardcore and will
Hey,
be returning.
we should read more of Goblin Slayer. We should read Goblin Slayer so we can do a
I
little
mean,
bit of
like,
that.
I've read it
That's a
all,
goal for 2019 for
and
me.
they're making more like side stories for Goblin Slayer now too. So
That's
like,
cool.
Hey.
No, the anime was delightful for that. I mean, it was Goblin Slayer, so if you're familiar with the source content, obviously they did not shy away from it.
No.
I was super impressed with that series. I was super impressed.
But like, goddamn, what a great telling of it.
Also, that's another series I didn't think I'd be getting fan art of. I didn't think people would love Goblin Slayer.
It's so
or
great.
like the guild, like the cowgirls and Elf Archer and all of the people. Like the writer of this series did not name these characters. Like he called them that, and people just embraced it. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, it's Goblin Slayer. That's the guild girl.
I mean, this is clearly like pretty. If we're playing D&D, this is not Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. This is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, this
And
is
if we're
Red
talking about
Box.
it, Elf Archer, like dwarf druid, like that's or dwarf cleric, I guess. I don't fucking know. And like those are just the classes. Like that's what it was. You just were your class if you weren't a human. You didn't need to be more than elf because if you were, I mean, clearly you were important, but your name was like Elfandriel, and you had a 10,000-year backstory that no one's fucking interested in listening to.
Oh my
So
god!
you're elf.
What's up with like Philandriel and being like the Karen of elves? Okay, like God damn
Karen.
it! God damn it, Philandriel!
That's why you should just go read The Death Mage That Doesn't Want a Fourth Time. It's about It's about a Danfir that's half dark elf, and dark elves are clearly the answer to elves.
Correct, 100%. Dark elf all day. They even have like a dude who masquerades as a dark elf there, who isn't a real dark elf, but I'm a big fan of him, and he hasn't really showed up a lot in the story. And he's actually like a pure breed vampire who's just all muscle. He just flexes on people. Buff wizard, pretty much, dude. It's great.
I know a buff wizard.
Who?
I know a guy. He's a wizard. And he's buff as hell.
It's just a buff wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
I can't imagine that, actually. Like, I sort of can, but I'm like imagining a magician with like cut off sleeves and like really, really big arms. So like he's doing the typical like magician flourishes, but it's like vaguely threatening and intimidating.
No, it's just Abdul from JoJo's Part 3.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a
like
buff.
in a cloak until he's not.
He's a buff psychic.
All right.
So okay, sorry.
All right.
His psychic manifestation is a buff magician.
Yeah. Magician's Red was buff as fuck.
It sure was.
Swole.
Jesus. I mean, it was a male character in a JoJo series, so what do you expect? But
Shit, man, the female characters are buff as hell too. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fucking cut.
The only person who isn't buff is Koichi.
and Narancia.
And Iggy.
The people
Only
that have to not be
people that
buff.
live in Italy are allowed to be
I mean,
skinny.
Narancia's still pretty buff for how skinny he is.
He's cut, but he is just way skinnier than a typical JoJo's. I mean, I guess Koichi existed.
But yeah, that's an entirely different story. If we get into this if we crack open this JoJo's bag, we ain't gonna stop.
Yeah, no, that's true for sure.
How far? Oh God, how far into the other things bag did we go? We're not that far, right? We can still drag our way back out.
But I think that's pretty much the topics we kind of wanted to cover for this episode. Unless you guys have anything in particular you wanted to end out on.
Well, we're back. We're back with our shows. Don't have to worry about that, guys. Expect episodes. I have a couple things I want to talk about. Like, we're let's go back to actually making a plan for an episode here. Like, what y'all want to do next? I have a couple ideas, but maybe let's do. I'll finish. I forgot the name of the goddamn book.
Well, then you're not gonna finish it, are you?
I mean,
we have
probably.
we have a couple in the tank, don't
I'm
we?
down to do Evergeared if you guys are down for that. But that's up to you guys.
Oh yeah, and we have a ton of knights in the tank right now that I'm gonna disperse.
We have to get a fucking slime show nights out, right?
Yeah, we did.
We do have that.
Yeah, we did.
So I'll release that in tandem with this.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hey.
Cool. So yeah, bonus Sensei Shitara slimed out a kid.
Yeah, it's
Gotta get that sweet episode out while people that don't know about light novels are searching the name.
It's gonna be me mumbling and I'm talking about my favorite part of. I wanted to talk deeply about my favorite part of that entire novel, and that's gonna be the greatest animation. That's gonna be the best part of the anime, guys.
I'm very much.
You don't understand. And what is it? It's,
they're on like 14 or 15, and they just established Tempest. So like they've got I think 9 or 10 more episodes to go in the currently planned season.
Oh man!
Wow, it'll be exciting.
So it's like I already know where this season's gonna end. It's gonna end right before
Probably right before the tournament.
right before the freaking tournament.
Probably.
God, I'm mad.
It would make a lot of sense to me. Either that, or they'll end it maybe like right after Hinata. That might be a spot, but we'll see.
I actually kind of feel danger. Gotcha.
But anyway, it's been great to be back in the seat again. Hopefully you guys have not missed us too much in our downtime.
They missed us so much.
Actually, every time we do reach out, you guys reach out with a wave of support, and it kind of overwhelms me a little bit. So we appreciate it. We're sorry we haven't been putting out more content. But, we're always optimistic that we'll be turning around that bend anytime now.
We're also going to have a couple of our guys at PodCon. So anyone who's going to be at PodCon, look out for them.
Yeah, we'll probably be there. Like, I mean, we're gonna be there.
We'll be there.
We'll
If
be
not,
there
I
right
wasted a lot of
now.
money.
Hold on, you don't know the future.
It's true. PodCon could explode.
I could
God,
explode.
if PodCon explodes,
I
then,
have
like,
gotten in 2 car wrecks in the past month. So.
Oh, no.
you don't even own a car.
I know, isn't that incredible? I didn't before the car wrecks either.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh.
But yeah, we're hoping you guys are having a great year. We're looking forward to 2019. And we hope you are too. Let us know what you're looking forward to reading this year. What new books are interesting you? What you just picked up that you're really enjoying? Anything that you finished in 2018 that really meant something to you?
Give us recommendations of anything you want us to read. I mean, I'm
I
always
know
open
you've
to
given
read
us a lot of
anything.
those, but I think we we ended up either losing some of those or whatever. We'll go back through the old archive Reddit posts and look up some of those. But
Yeah, man.
I know I had that Ed Villar novel I was in the middle of trying to read, and that one's still on the back. It's still on there, and I'm like maybe half a volume in, and then I got distracted by how good King's Avatar is. So I'm sorry.
I'm just catching up on. I don't know. I'm only really like F5ing on like 8 or 9 books right now.
I'll tell you my F5. King's Avatar, Death Mage doesn't want a 4th time. The tutorial is too hard. And honestly, as long as those are the first 3 I check, and then I go to like my Chinese stuff that I'm behind on and just keep reading. The only reason I do that is the Chinese novels are kind of. Sometimes I burn myself out on them. Sometimes,
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, like I am still I'm still enjoying Martial God Asura, but it is frustrating when they say things like, and it was Bai Liluo who had done this thing because she was in this location, and indeed it was Bai Liluo. And it's just like, all right, B, like, try a little bit.
Some kind of copy editing would be
Like,
great.
No, it's not copy edited. Like, I mean, on B's part, that's the actual raw. Like, that's just the thing they say a lot. It's like they just state a thing, and then they state a thing in the same way
it's
again.
a lot of proclamations, so you can like skim some of it, and like I don't like skim it. I like to comprehend and really take in the words.
I like to be building a mental picture alongside what I'm reading.
When it becomes like a chore is when like I gotta take a break. Like Emperor's Domination, I enjoy Emperor's Domination, but there's a lot of proclaiming and a lot of repeating actions, and it makes me go, well, this could have been half as long for the same amount of stuff.
But then there's a Will Eternal, which has basically been the same plot since it started, and I'm like, you could continue doing this, and I would never stop reading.
See, yes, that's another one that I need to catch up on. Like, I'm like, chapter 300.
Yeah. No,
I have a lot left of that.
Oh
Okay,
man,
well,
it's been a fun ride.
What's the actual?
I still think the Valley of Snakes might have been my favorite fucking thing in that goddamn book. I laughed so hard.
We should
when
do a
that
Will
happened.
Eternal episode as well.
Oh, yeah, no,
Stellar
for sure.
Transformation episode, Will Eternal episode, a freaking overgeared episode, and then I'm gonna hit you with some Dimensional Sovereign and some Korean stuff that you can't read anymore because you can't find those novels legit because they got taken down. I'm gonna hit you with all the sauce. Okay.
That's what I like to hear.
Oh man, don't make them hungry for things they can't eat.
All right. So we didn't have a book this time, so I don't think we really have we didn't even get to talk about. But again, we're looking forward to 2019. We hope you are too, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Oh, hey, we exist on Twitter. We do at Tiger Coaster, and you can always send us an email at tigerrollercoaster@gmail.com. Tiger.rollercoaster if you're feeling fancy.
Always feel fancy.
Or don't if you hate reading.
Oh yeah, and happy freaking New Year.
Happy New Year.
Tiger Roller Coaster Productions. Tigers are scary. You try to get off.